Hi, Starting Metal Shelf, and in this episode you're gonna receive the journalist Vidar Eidhammer. Thank you for joining us at Metal Shelf, Vidar.
Thank you for having me.
And Vidar is a journalist that one of in later specializations is heavy metal. Vidar, when you start like your, let's say, your passion for the extreme music?
Well, I guess it was when I was about 14 or 15. There wasn't much heavy metal fans in the small village where I grew up, but
Where is?
It's just outside Haugesund on the west coast.
Of Norway.
Yeah, but there was one guy who was a brother of a friend of mine, and he once picked us up at the movies and had bought. This is not one of the favorites, but I have to show it. He had bought this record, Gamma Ray's Power Plant, some German power metal.
Yeah.
And when he put it on, I had never heard anything like it, and neither had my friends, so we decided we wanted to be metalheads after that.
So it's from the German metal, power metal, that you decided to join this?
Yeah, so I was probably 15 and listened to mostly power metal and the more commercial heavy metal for a few years before venturing deeper into the underground genres.
And how you start your collection of vinyls and CDs?
I guess it was a few years later that I bought my first vinyls, but I started out with CDs, of course, because there weren't many vinyls back then. I didn't even have an LP player for many years, so my collection of LPs has mainly come from the last 15 years, I guess.
And do you remember like the first album that you bought?
This one was one of the first, but the first one was I think a Norwegian pop rock band called Darkthrone and Vazelina Bilopphøggers, which is somewhat of a rockabilly band, I guess.
Very popular in Norway, right?
Yeah, very popular amongst metalheads actually, Vazelina Bilopphøggers.
And I ask you to choose 5 albums of your collection that it's honor to mention. Of course, probably you have more that you love it. But let's just start from the 5th one of these 5 chosen ones.
Yeah, what I've done is I've chosen 5 records from different genres that I've been listening to throughout the years and has affected me and are favorites in some way or another. So it's not only metal here, but most of it is. So we can start with number 5 maybe.
Number 5, what you have?
Which is a representation of the Norwegian rock scene, Turbonegro's Ass Cobra from 1996, which is most people actually find their next album Apocalypse Dudes better, but I think this one is raw and more to the point lyrics and more high energy punk rock, and also with this amazing
poster
inside of Hank von Helvete and a Cobra, which is
it's awesome.
Pretty cool. And also there's a naked man on the backside.
It's interesting because you usually, especially from the rock and metal scene, you have more naked woman on the covers that is even not related with the band.
Yeah.
And then this one you have the naked dude with a snake.
Yeah, Turbonegro, they wanted, this was in the mid-90s where black metal was on the rise here in Norway, and they're from Follo Kolbotn, same as Darkthrone and all the others. And they thought, what can we do that will intimidate metal people? Naked men and homosexuality. That is the most frightening things for metalheads in the early 90s. So they chose to be that imagery.
Nice. They chose to be like rebels in a scene that was more dark side. Nice. So Turbonegro as Cobra, 5th place. And what you have for us in the 4th place?
Well, this is the genre that I've been listening to most besides metal for the last 3 or 4 years. Country music. This is the only country record I've chosen.
Yeah.
I've chosen Culture Walls, Songs of the Plains, which is a representation of the modern outlaw country singer, western singer. Amazing songwriter from Saskatchewan, Canada, and now he lives in Montana and works as a cowboy on a ranch and plays 1800s music.
Truly living his music.
He's living his music, and good country music, not the commercial one, is just as outsider music as most heavy metal is, I think.
And which song you think that is more?
Well, this is a Culture Walls record which has no hits on it. It's just a good throughout worked through album. His other hits are on other albums. This one is more a full experience, I think. So if you want to check him out, this one is good.
So Songs of the Plan from Culture Walls.
Yeah, Canadian country music.
Nice. To the 3rd place. Now you have like our podium 3.
Yeah. Now we come to the heavy metal part. Most people would recognize this one.
Of course, it's one of the best heavy metal albums of the history, I think.
Yeah, Screaming for Vengeance, Judas Priest, 1983 or 2.
New wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah, not much to say about this. One of the best heavy metal records of all time. Also, amazing cruising music. I like to drive cars, and this, if I would drive along Highway 1 in California, this one would be the perfect cruising record. I think it was hard to choose a Judas Priest record. It was between this one and Defenders of the Faith, but came down to this because of the cruising factor.
And what you like more about this album?
Well, the start is the best start of any heavy metal band with the Hellion electric eye, and then it just goes on with catchy tunes, great riffs, and good songwriting. And if you go on YouTube and check out the San Bernardino concerts from '83, where they play most songs from here, one of the best concerts ever as well. Good to get in a good mood before a party or a concert.
And also awesome cover. Judas Priest, I think it's best.
Check out the cover. Huh?
Nice. Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance.
Yeah.
And for 2nd place, what do you have?
2nd place, a representative of the underground metal scene, Manilla Road, which is the most muscle rock and keep it true band there is. This is a new reissue, gatefold with some pictures. Yeah. No, this is just one of, as Screaming for Vengeance, one of the best heavy metal albums ever, with Mark Shelton's voice and the riffs, the songwriting, the overall feeling to it.
Yeah, his voice is pretty unique. It's a shame that he died a few years ago.
Luckily I got to see them a few times, even at the last show here in Oslo, just before he died, so it was... everybody needs to constantly listen to this to honor Mark Shelton.
And which song of Manilla Road did you think that is like the best, like an anthem from this album, for example?
It is of course Necropolis, which is the most known song, but also the next one, Crystal Logic, and the long epic Wheels of Negative Existence. In the end there, it's the best songs.
Yeah, it's a combination of philosophy, humanity in an epic metal way.
Yeah,
Right.
and his voice, of course, which stands out.
Perfect. Manilla Road, Crystal Logic. Second place. So after that, what you can expect for the first place?
Well, is it beer? It's quite embarrassing because I don't have this on vinyl. It's still I have to choose Darkthrone, my favorite band of all times. And I've ended up with Transylvanian Hunger, only got it on CD. I got a lot of other records on LP, but not this one. Ended up with this as one of the best albums I know, because of its importance in black metal history and the songs and the overall feeling of the album. Basically, it was hard to choose a Darkthrone record, but I ended up with the Black and Whites, and then it could have been any of the Black and Whites album, but I came up with this.
And what do you believe, why this album changed the black metal?
No, it's just after Blazing Northern Sky, Under a Funeral Moon, they really figured out how to play Norwegian black metal and found a formula that suited them and suited the scene, and gave off an atmosphere that probably no one has managed to copy.
Fenris Notturno Culto, Darkthrone, Transylvania Hunger. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. And there's any other album that you think that you should mention?
Most of what's in my shelf. No, I try to vinyl or LPs are expensive, so I try to only buy what I think I will really enjoy, not too many things I haven't heard before, or so I save my money for the records I know I will like. So
it is smart.
I won't pick out any favorites.
And Vidar, you also work as I said in the beginning, you work as journalist, but also you have this project that you encountered the nights of Oslo with some very good metal playlists at Kniven Bar, right?
Yeah, no, it just started when me and a friend, Jo Grunde, had a radio show on Radio Nova, the student channel, and then we were asked to play to be DJs for nights, and I've just been continuing doing that ever since. They keep asking me for some reason.
I think it's because the good taste of music. What do you want to bring when you create your playlist?
I try to bring different styles, but mostly heavy metal. I don't play too much black metal on Fridays and some Saturdays, because it's best experienced alone with your headphones and not in a big room, and people want to have fun and not to be gloomy and dark when they're at Kniven, I think so.
Yeah, and what do you want, for example, there's some band that always put this band is my must-have in our presentations?
Yeah, I always play some Judas Priest, because of their extensive catalog. There's a lot to choose from, so one or two songs always fits in somewhere.
And now talking about your radio show, how you started this idea of the radio show Overkill?
That was back when me and Jo were studying in Stavanger. We had a show there on the student radio in Stavanger, and then we both moved to Oslo and asked Radio Nova if they wanted a metal show, and they did. So we had it there for a few years. So overall we had it for the show for 8 or 9 years in both places. It ended a few years ago because you had to move back to Bergen, but we had some good guests. Most fun, I think, was when Fenris from Darkthrone came with his new record, the Underground Resistance, and had some world premieres of that album on our show. That was probably the highlights, I think.
Wow. And you have some fun facts that happen during interview someone over there, or?
Well, we used to serve cake and coffee for all our guests because we wanted to keep it a good mood, and
cake and coffee brings a lot.
And beers, and We also had to say no to some bands because we didn't think they would fit in with the good mood. So probably shouldn't mention the bands here. But yeah, we just invite the people and let they play whatever they wanted and talk about their music, and I think that worked.
And if someone wants to contact you, like about the Overkill or about your DJing work, how they can do that?
Facebook Messenger is great, and yeah, just talk to me when they see me at Kniven, I guess.
Nice. And one last question, like as I would say, I don't know if I can use this expression, but as a music nerd and specialist, journalist on this area, how you can see like the extreme scene nowadays?
I think it was I have most knowledge about the Oslo scene now. I think it was better like 5 or 6 years ago. There were more young people playing metal, and new bands came up all the time, but the last couple of years it's been some silence, not that many things happening, but I hope it will catch up again, because if you go to a concert now, it's the same faces you saw 5 or 6 years ago, not too many new faces. So
you need to keep the cult alive, right?
Yeah, so it's we are getting old, so we need some new blood into the scene, I think.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing with us. Metal Show!